On this episode, hey, I'm not full on here. Hang on. I've given away all the guests. Here we go. On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we'll break down the epic clash between Godzilla and Kong.
Jesus.
It's already starting. We'll talk about our impression of the new Loki trailer. We're going to explore the possibility of a Deathstroke movie. And it looks like Thundercats is coming to the big screen, and that's all coming up maintenant. Welcome to Taskforce Geek, now with Bacon Jam. My name is Dirk Hooper, and today I am joined by Sean and Walt.
How you doing, everyone?
And Beth.
Hey, everybody.
There's our crew tonight. Hey, bacon makes everything better, and who came up with Bacon Jam? That's new technology.
I don't know.
That's new food technology right there. That's innovation. That's 21st century stuff right there, folks. We're living in the future. Let me see if I can break this down. It's jam with bacon. It has bacon in there. They put it in the jam, and then they put it on stuff.
Well, you know, there's bacon soda, right?
Sure.
Not baking.
It's
bacon soda.
This is spiraling out of control rapidly.
Hey, I've had chocolate chip cookies with bacon bits in it.
I told Sean I'd like to put a little bacon jam on maybe a hot fudge sundae.
I might have to tell Caitlin about that.
See what happens. Just see what happens.
Next time.
Do I break the space-time continuum? Or do I make something that is lovely and delicious for all the children of the world?
Are you going to put fried bacon in your bacon sundae?
I might. That could, if you fry it, that might actually take it up a notch.
Hey, well, you do know that they do sell fried ice cream down here at the Dallas State Fair. So
yes, but does it come with bacon jam?
You can probably get it with bacon. I don't know about jam.
Hey, if you want to know about all of the things that we are going to talk about tonight, or the things that we're going to talk about next week, you might want to check out this Quora space for Taskforce Geek. There's 555,000 people there. That's not a joke. It's not a drill. That really happens. There we are on Facebook, right there. Facebook groups, Taskforce Geek. A lot of good stuff on there. Goody gumdrop things. I'm not high, guys. I promise. Guess I'm just in a good mood. Also, I started something new here. Facebook.com/TaskforceGeek. Facebook pages have different powers than Facebook groups. So, for example, if I wanted to, I could stream directly to the Facebook page, and that is Facebook.com/TaskforceGeek. Also, I use a thing called Buffer, which allows me to share to multiple places at the same time. And if I run into a story online, I can share directly to that. And then from there, I can share it to the Taskforce Geek Facebook group. And so that was kind of the impetus for that silliness right there. We are broadcasting live. I'll get there, I promise.
With bacon.
With bacon.
Bacon jam, that is.
Damn bacon jam.
I hate my life.
We are broadcasting live from Facebook. It's that right there. Also from YouTube. And we got a little traction last week. We were on Twitch. So we're back on Twitch this week. Let's see. I got a couple of things to cover here. Number one, Scott did a great review of about, about 10 comics, maybe more. That's available right now on our YouTube channel. Let's see. Let me put this up right here. This is where that's where you need to go for this. He did a bunch of stuff. He did it when he recorded the message for us last week. He did another 15 minutes of comic book reviews, and they're all really good. I've picked up a few of them and have read them since, and And, he's right on target. And so if you are jonesing for Scott, he's obviously not here tonight, but you can go to that link below there, and there is a new Prime Reviews. In addition to that, Beth and I had a little conversation with someone. Beth, do you want to talk about that?
We had an awesome conversation with someone. So I had the opportunity to reach out to Max Brown, who's the narrator of my book Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray, and I asked him, I said, hey man, would you be up to doing an hour podcast interview with this group I'm involved in, Taskforce Geek? And he said yes. And Dirk and I sat down and got a podcast interview, a good solid half hour, phenomenal interview with Max last week. He was so generous with his time, and I'm still kind of reeling from this. If you guys don't know, if you don't know who Max is, he was in The Tudors and The Royals, as well as Downton Abbey, and the big one is he played Peggy Carter's brother, Michael Carter, in Agent Carter. So he is part of the MCU.
He's got an MCU page and everything. I went and looked at it. I asked him about that. I got a few questions out.
I thought it was awesome.
His most recently, he did a series called Royals, which is a lot of fun. It aired on E! I never watched an episode, but I watched it before we interviewed him, so I get an idea of kind of what his stuff is. He says he's mostly recognized for The Tudors, or for obviously Downton Abbey, because that's a force unto itself.
His 10 minutes in the movie, but hey, it was quality 10 minutes.
He's kind of right. He's kind of halfway interested in maybe having his character from the MCU show up again. If if something happens down the line, if Disney Plus wants to go back in time and
continue Peggy Carter.
Yeah, maybe look back into
Agent
that.
Agent Carter.
Carter.
I wish they would do that.
Anyway, not everyone has a an MCU Wikipedia page. Look, the interview is getting some pretty good numbers. It's only been out for a day. Go to the YouTube channel, look for Max Brown. That's it right there, and it got good reviews from my mom.
Oh. Thanks, Mom.
So go check it out. Look, and let me say this. He's probably the biggest person that we've interviewed so far. Has an extensive IMDb profile. He's legitimately been on a lot of... He was in Turistas.
He looks like he's 10 in Turistas.
He was... that was, 12 years ago or something?
Yeah.
He was much younger. He still looks pretty young.
Yeah, he can pull off Dorian for me without a problem.
He is legitimately very nice and charming, in real life. So, that's pretty cool. He you hear stories about Hollywood actors, and I don't think that applies here. I think that he was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't apply to Max. He's as genuine as I thought he would be, just based on our communications while working on the audiobook and everything. And when my mom got sick back in October, he saw a note on Twitter where I had asked people, please keep my mom in your prayers, and he reached out to me. I'm sitting in the airport waiting to fly out to Virginia, and I see a message come up. You have a message from ACX, and I knew it was from Max because he was the only one I was working with on ACX at the time. And the first thing he said, saw your note on Twitter. If there's anything that I can do, please let me know.
Wow.
And that I burst into tears in the middle of the airport, because I was already worrying about my mom, and for him just to reach out and say that and show that
guy's headed off to Spain.
I know. I'm so jealous.
So he's got things to do, For him to pay attention to what's happening with you is really amazing.
Yeah.
It speaks well of him. All right, let's see what we got on comments. We got a lot of comments here. Jerry says, hello, fellow geeks.
Hello, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Jerry says, fried ice cream is awesome. What flavor jam has the bacon in it? I'm thinking not grape. I'm thinking probably not grape.
It is
bacon flavored jam.
I have not tried the bacon jam yet.
Taskforce Geek wraps.
The bacon jam. Everybody get out and do the bacon jam. I was thinking that same thing too, Steve. I was thinking that same thing.
You guys are you have some sort of symbiotic relationship. Maxine says hello.
Hello, Mom.
Hello. Hi.
Jerry says you two did such an awesome job interviewing Max Brown. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Like I said, I got the mom seal of approval. Hello to Ronnie.
What's up, Ronnie?
Hey, Ronnie.
Here comes the craziness. Maxine says last week was excellent. Thank you. Last week that's the last thing I'm going to talk about. Things went dark before she could say so. Yeah, some people kind of didn't hang around for our nearly 3-hour episode. What, does some people have something to do?
On a Tuesday night?
We have 1,500 views on last week's episode, and we consistently are getting more and more every day. I have no idea because like all of the things that I tried, all of the, SEO stuff that I try to do to get people to watch these damn things, we didn't have anything last week. So I have no idea why that was I guess people just like the craziness, or I don't know.
It was our 1 year anniversary.
It's getting some traction. It does have a lot of people on it, and some pretty cool people, to be honest with you. I'm still hearing from people who are like, "Oh, I just saw this. I'm sorry I didn't make it," and we'll do it again.
It's all good.
We'll do it again. Last week's episode was pretty epic. So anyway, if you haven't seen it, I'd say go see episode 50. If you have, 2.5 hours, whatever, to kill. It was a lot of fun. A lot of crazy stuff, a lot of surprises.
It was quality 2.5 hours.
It's jam-packed.
No jam.
For all the...
It was bacon jam-packed.
No
for
jam.
The children.
For the little children's.
No.
Steve says it was so fun. Steve was on the show. Steve was not the only person who chimes in on these things that I invited. He's just the only one that had the cojones to show up.
Cojones.
See how that works?
As big as church bells.
Hey, let's get into it. We're going to have topics this week. Why not? It's just last week we didn't have topics. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. After a long year of gloom and doom at the box office, the Easter holiday weekend finally offered a giant ray of hope for movie theaters thanks to two of cinema's most iconic characters. Godzilla vs. Kong, Warner Brothers' big budget kaiju grudge match, smashed pandemic-era records left and right in North America. The PG-13 extravaganza opened in the largest number of theaters since the COVID-19 breakout, which was little over 3,000. It had the largest opening day during that period, 9.6 million on Wednesday. I think about half of that was Walt. It had the highest single-day gross, 12.5 million on Saturday. And it had the biggest 3-day and 5-day opening weekends, 32.2 million and 48.5 million, respectively. In other words, it was just the kind of monster weekend that Hollywood's been waiting for. Overseas, Godzilla vs. Kong continued to rampage at the box office. How about this writing job that they did here? After raking in 100, this is from Box Office Mojo, by the way. After raking in 121.8 million abroad last weekend, it added another 115 million this week, bringing its 2-week international total to 236.9 million, and its cumulative global haul, when you add in North America, to 285.4. And while it would be premature to read too much into the film's success, it does hint that audiences may finally be getting more comfortable with the idea of returning to theaters thanks to increased vaccination rates, easing restrictions, and pent-up demand for the kind of movies that play exceptionally well on big screens. So my question to the gang is, who's seen it? Let's just get a show of hands. Anyone who's seen it? Beth didn't see it? Okay.
I haven't seen it yet.
What are your thoughts about the movie? Sean suggested that this might be the last Godzilla movie. Has anyone else heard
come on, no.
Last American, whatever, legendary, maybe?
What I said was, this was the last one they were contracted for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say this was the last Godzilla movie. Now they go back to
I qualified it. I said maybe.
Negotiating.
Still a scary thought, man.
Yeah.
And finally, I would ask the group: how do you feel about going back to the theater? I think that's maybe the big. I think maybe that's the headline on all of this. But to get initial impressions, let's go to the guy who probably lost track of how many times he saw this thing.
I did lose track.
Let's go to Walt.
So I did go to the movie theater to watch this movie.
How many times?
Just the one time.
Okay, you went the first time, and then
I went the first time, and then I came home and watched it again.
Another 40,000 times.
Let's see. So, opening day, I watched it 3 times. So once at the theater.
Yeah.
Once at the theater and twice at home. And then the next day, was that Thursday? I got up and I watched it again. And Friday, I watched Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's a topic later on today.
It is,
or in this show. But
if we make it to it.
Yeah, but then after that, I watched Godzilla versus Kong again.
God, it's like my husband with Deadpool. Jeez.
Yeah, and then as I was getting ready to watch Godzilla versus Kong a second time for Friday, I remembered that Invincible was on, so I had to go and watch that, and then go back to Godzilla versus Kong. So
we don't have Invincible, but we might, depending on how things go, we might squeeze that in.
We should probably talk about that next week.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Let's talk about it next week. That way we'll be 5 episodes into.
Give more. That's right. Well, it'll give me some time to catch up to.
Yeah.
All right. So, you saw it so many times, you probably didn't like it much.
Actually, I love this movie. Yeah. There's the way that this movie flows, it's almost exactly like the original King Kong versus Godzilla. See how that's flipped. So like the transporting Kong from point A to point B starts off on a boat, and then that doesn't work. And
Ronnie says you rock.
And then he's airlifted. That's done in there. There's a few things that are flipped in this movie, like for instance, Godzilla first appears in, I think, the North Pole from a chunk of floating ice.
Oh.
But they kind of flip it in this, where they send Kong to a place of cold weather. So
right.
There's so many
cool.
things. There's so many things in this movie, and there was a returning character from the last movie that was unexpected. Everybody probably knows who that character is,
right?
But
they didn't hide it too well.
No, they didn't. Well, no, actually, they did hide it very well. I didn't expect to see this character to come back the way this character came back, but it was quite awesome. The fact that they definitely had a winner between the two,
that was a surprise to me.
Which kind of wasn't a surprise to me. Kind of because of, as Sean was talking about the negotiations of wanting to continue the movies. So that was the
You think that played into it?
Oh, that definitely played into it. Because when you think about who and this is kind of giving a hint if you haven't seen the movie. This is kind of giving a hint. you know,
Slackers.
yeah, Legendary signed on to have a multiple number of monsters from one particular company in their movies. So it would be beneficial to satisfy Toho.
Right.
So
right. If you want to do more.
But the way that the movie ends, nobody will be disappointed. I'll just put it that way.
I agree.
So
let's go to Sean and get his thoughts.
You know, I've been thinking about this for the last few days. I don't have HBO Max, so I had to go over to a friend's house to watch it. And one thing that struck me most of all was the father of Millie Bobby Brown.
Right.
Why was he there?
I mean, really, continuity. Yeah.
I think he had 2, maybe 3 scenes.
He didn't have a lot.
He didn't have a lot.
Definitely derelict as a parent.
He's a great actor. He's a great character.
Yeah.
I like that actor a lot.
Why was he in this?
I really think
you had one whole scene where all he did was check the messages on his phone.
On his phone, yeah.
Seriously? How much you pay this guy?
That's scintillating.
I will agree that they didn't spend enough time on the Godzilla side.
No.
So, but then again, we also, you know, to add to that, the director said that there was it 5 hours worth of movie footage?
5 hours.
Wow.
From the beginning of the movie that he cut.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the let me just say from the beginning of the movie that he cut out.
So I got a feeling there's a lot of Godzilla footage. Or excuse me, Team Godzilla footage in there because there's not much Team Godzilla movie footage.
So you think that maybe that actor's stuff may have ended up on the cutting room floor?
Yeah,
I would suspect. But that was really the only disappointment that I had was they didn't spend a whole lot of time with.
That's an old term because people don't cut film anymore.
Right.
That was my only disappointment with it. We've got these established characters. We've got give them some meat, give them something to chew on. You know,
I will agree with you on that one.
But of course, the only reason why anybody goes to see this movie or downloads the stream is to watch two behemoths beat the hell out of each other, and they did not disappoint.
They didn't. That was probably one of the most brutal kaiju fights I've ever seen.
And it was a knockdown drag out for a good, what was it, 2.5, 2 hours?
It wasn't just one fight.
No.
It wasn't one and done.
There were four fights in that movie.
There's a lot of fighting.
if you're a fan of MMA, they had 4 distinct rounds, and
Kong does a little MMA.
A winner is crowned. By God,
he did a few MMA moves.
You could say that. You could say it was a 3-round bout with a bonus round at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it was absolutely good. They did a great job. I personally, and this is nothing against the production designer or anything. Everybody did a fantastic job. Visual effects guys deserve an Oscar for what they put on the screen. Absolutely fantastic. The design of this is not a spoiler because it's already been spoiled by every trailer and everything else. So if anybody complains, they can suck it. Mechagodzilla's design, I felt was lacking
a little bit. Yes,
I'll agree with that.
If you look at the
if they'd given it to some video game designers or something, they would have knocked that out of the park.
Well, not even that. If they would have just, because the original, if you look at the was it 60s, early 70s? I don't remember.
60s.
When the original one came out, Mechagodzilla was a metallic mirror of Godzilla.
Just like him.
Absolutely gorgeous, great riff on one another. This one did not resemble Godzilla.
I would say if you want to see probably one of the best ever Mechagodzillas, find Godzilla or Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, which was done in the mid 2000s.
Oh.
And then I think it's SOS Tokyo. Is it SOS Tokyo or SOS Godzilla, which is the sequel?
I think I remember that one.
That costume is probably the best ever Mechagodzilla look.
See, and that's more of what I'm wanting. Not that anything was wrong with what we had.
Oh no.
But
no.
To me,
it was serviceable, but
he was smaller, he was sleeker. He didn't have. If you're going to be throwing around Godzilla, I would suspect that even if you're made out of metal, you better have a firm base.
Well,
because Godzilla got a firm base.
I will say this Mechagodzilla was huge. He was much bigger than Godzilla.
Yeah, but he seemed very spindly to me in comparison.
He seemed a little clunky to me.
So I wish it had been a bit more, again, fashioned to mirror.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about because also if we remember in the original Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla was actually disguised to look like Godzilla.
Right.
So,
and I was kind of wanting that scene. How cool would that have been if you just tore off that? Oh my God.
Yeah, that would have been. It would have been like a Terminator Godzilla.
Right. And I think that would have been absolutely phenomenal. But, again, I digress. They did a fantastic job. This Mechagodzilla reminded me of the Mechagodzilla from Ready Player One, and we all know my feelings about that. So
it did favor that.
Yeah.
They were similar.
And
I really, as far as this movie, I really want to see the uncut scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot in there to explain. I did have one problem with one scene in the movie, and I just kind of brushed it off. Just brush it off, and that's the fire in the hole.
Oh Lord.
With these type of movies, there's a certain amount of suspension of disbelief that you have to have going into it. Obviously, we have kaiju fighting kaiju. I mean, that's just anyway. And there were several moments that took me out of that in this movie, not because they were too incredible for me to believe, but there was no lead up to it. There was nothing to define why. And like you said, I think that there's going to be a lot of deleted scenes or something.
Yeah.
When the Blu-ray eventually comes out, that's really going to tie a lot of these things together, and I'm really looking forward to that.
And
but
the last thing that I want to say about this movie is the little girl. The deaf girl. Yes. She's actually deaf.
Right.
She was phenomenal.
She was great.
Oh yeah. Dude. If she wants to continue in acting, if she wants to actually build a career out of this and actually go somewhere with it,
cool character,
dude. The sky's the limit for her.
Yeah. She was great in that role. Going back to, are there going to be any sequels? There definitely has to be a sequel. Because I want to see this girl and Kong's relationship go further. So Legendary, Warner Brothers, if you're out there, if you're watching, Son of Kong.
they are.
Son of Kong.
I
Yeah,
promise
yeah.
I'll get caught up.
It's common.
Yeah,
I mean,
we need Son of Kong.
Yeah, absolutely. I strongly, and this kind of takes me back to a few other movies. If anybody out there has seen the movie Meg, there's a little girl in there who is just an absolute doll. Another character who I think if she wants to continue acting, sky's the limit for her. She just had such a presence, and that's what this girl reminded me of. She had such, for not having any words, she spoke nothing. It was all sign. For not having any verbal words, she was so expressive, and you felt her pain, you felt her joy, you felt. I mean, she absolutely fantastic little girl.
When she cried, you wanted to cry.
Dude, I'm telling you, an absolute treasure. If she really wants to continue with acting, if she enjoyed the process, and she wants to continue, sky's the limit for her. I think she could go absolutely anywhere if she wants.
Agreed.
Let me get some comments out here. Ronnie says that Walt rocks for watching it so many times. Maxine says that she really enjoyed the movie, but she's not ready to go back to the theater. And I don't know if anyone's answered that question for me yet. But hang on a second.
I am ready to go.
Steve says, when I text Walt about GVK, he had already watched it 4 times. I've seen it twice for I am lame. As are we all, dude. I mean, we're not going to catch up to Walt on this thing, I don't think.
I'm not going to knock anybody for not seeing it as many times as me. I'm not going to knock you for it.
I've seen it once. I am probably the most lame of the entire group.
No, I am, because I haven't even seen it.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
But then I don't have HBO. I don't have HBO Max either, so you know.
Jeree says, I'm ready to go to the theater. She's fully vaccinated. She'll bring her mask and her hand sanitizer, and there it is.
There you go.
Yep, there we go.
That's all you got to do.
Betty says, hi, guys. Sounds like you're getting your movie watching since you're home, Walt.
Yeah.
Walt has a little extra time on his hands.
Yeah.
Howdy, Mom.
Ronnie says that the pacing is well done. Then are you guys ready? Are you sitting down? Ronnie says, Toho, is that the foot fetish company, Dirk? Ronnie also says he may have been a bad parent, but he was in 2 King Kong movies. So there's that. Steve wants to know if the extra footage means that we should look for GVK, the Snyder Cut.
No,
not the Snyder Cut.
Dino Sharkey from Twitch rightly says you guys are absolute heroes.
Thanks, Dino Sharkey.
Thank you very much.
And,
thank you for noticing that.
And thank you for joining us on Twitch, by the way.
We love it.
Yes.
Tell all your Twitch friends. Ronnie says that little girl was so adorable.
She was.
absolutely.
Jeree agrees with Sean about the girl in Meg. Gary, hello Gary, said that he saw it in IMAX.
See, there's.
I want to see it in IMAX really bad.
Now I'm jealous. See,
Was
jealous.
it in 3D? Did they do 3D with this?
I don't think they did. The theater I saw it in is XD, which is just below IMAX, so not as good as IMAX. But
saying this movie in IMAX, I mean, this is the popcorniest of popcorn movies. You know, seriously, it would make make a big difference to see it in IMAX. I'd love that.
This is the kind of movie I would enjoy seeing in IMAX.
Obviously, a lot of people felt the same way.
This is the kind of movie. This is the kind of movie that was made for IMAX.
I mean, seriously, obviously. Maxine says there was a very old black and white Son of Kong on TV Saturday on Turner Classic Movies. I missed that.
Mm-hmm. It's on HBO Max.
She says it was not very good, however.
It's not very good. It's not. But we need a remake.
There's Pops Van Zant.
Hey,
Pop.
Says Yo Dirk, hello. His group, which I always get it wrong. It's comics oh my gosh. Anyway, he does a thing called CronCon. You guys should check that out. He does a lot of them where he interviews independent comic creators, and he is super supportive. So please go check him out. Bob Van Zandt. He posts on the Taskforce Geek Facebook group, so follow him from there if you can't find him. He's super awesome. Thank you for chiming in.
Mm-hmm.
Brian James, who I talked to for a damn hour today.
And now he's here to bother you some more.
Yep. You have no idea.
You kind of date yourself with that.
Brian. GPK says, nah, dog. Nah, dog. GPK, Garbage Pail Kids.
You age yourself with that one.
So agey. Gary says, no 3D, just 6 stories of awesome. 6 stories of awesome is pretty awesome.
I'm going to have to go find that now.
Dino Sharkey says, I'm in the UK where the cinemas are not open yet, but he's dying to get back. So he's ready as soon as they open. I know the UK's having some trouble over there, and we hope that gets resolved quickly.
Yeah, we hope you get to the theater soon, man.
I just read a whole big article in the Washington Post about that.
You guys got snow? Did I read that correctly?
In the UK?
Yes.
I know
I did not hear that.
I'm friends with a lot of people over in the UK and Europe and Germany and stuff. And
I know Germany got snow.
Yeah, all over Twitter this morning. They were like, what is this? This is spring. Last week it was 70 degrees. Now it's snowing. And I'm like, okay. I made the comment, it's weather by Sybil.
I could have swore that Pete Nifton said something about it snowing. And I was like,
oh,
what?
Yeah. Wow.
I told them they were taken after Texas.
Hey, I just hope it doesn't get to -2 degrees without wind chill like it did here.
Amen.
No joke.
Ever again.
In Texas.
Gary says, I love the movie and I'm late to the show here, but could have done without the Millie Bobby Brown side story. Wow. Does anyone want to chime in on that? Was that superfluous?
Anytime, what is there, like a basement?
I was wondering, is that somebody's? Is that somebody's?
It's the damn Death Star.
That
It's about
somebody's car stereo driving down the street.
It's about 10 feet away from your house.
The Millie Bobby Brown story didn't have enough of her dad involvement,
right?
And that's what the problem with that was.
Now, you put Millie Bobby Brown in anything, and I'm gonna watch it. I dig the crap out of her. She's funny. She's got a great personality. If you ever watch any interviews with her, especially with the Stranger Things crew, just an absolute doll and a super sweet kid. I would dare say that her character in the King of Monsters was kind of okay, here's your base. Now do something with it. And they didn't do anything with it. And I'm hopeful, as Walt said again, that a lot of that got cut out, in which case hopefully there's a lot more to her particular story to make that all make sense. But as it was presented, absolutely, it didn't need to be there. I still don't know why they had her dad in there for what little he was in. It didn't make any sense to me.
I think one of the the issue is that it's essentially a movie about Kong.
Right.
And they probably felt that there was too much focus on Godzilla, which I get that, but I think some of the editing that they did for the Godzilla side was a little bit lacking for progressing that part of the story.
Legendary owns Kong, right?
Right.
Or no,
I think their relationship with Kong is kind of the same.
Is it?
I don't know, but I don't know. I haven't really read anything about it, but
I was thinking that they had Kong, so that's kind of why they put their focus on Kong. That, and as we stated, the ending contract. I don't know, but in either case, I think there's more to her, or how should I say, Team Godzilla story that we didn't get.
I agree.
I think what we got was just a buffer to get from scene to scene, and there's a lot more to their story that we just missed out on. So hopefully we can get those extra bits again when it comes out on Blu-ray.
John says we had snow.
Wow.
Jerry says snow. Still cleaning up after the October ice storm.
Dang.
Steve says, wow, Sean, gunshots last week. Bass hoopty tonight.
Southside.
Says, I love Millie, and I just know that she loves me. Let me say a few things about Godzilla, or Godzilla Kong. I think they went all in on this one. I mean, this was kind of like the end game of Godzilla movies. I mean, they just really put it all in there. They let it all hang out.
I think he's coming back.
Great. It is sci-fi and it's crazy. I mean, they, kind of went around the kind of crazy sci-fi stuff like they did back in the 80s, with flying spaceships and, portals across the earth and all of the crazy stuff. They went all in on this one. This is not like if you can think back to the kind of the original, 2014 Godzilla, they tried to make it they kind of grounded it, Who was that? Who did the direction on that?
Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards. It was obviously made to kind of be like, Godzilla was a force of nature or something. This was more like just an 80s Saturday afternoon, crazy science fiction monster brawl. And, they left it all on the floor. I mean, it's not like you think, gosh, I wish that they'd done another couple. I mean, they did as much as they could within what I assume was about 2 hours. It went quick. I mean, it's a lot of fighting and it's a lot to take in. It's, moves from one place to another very frenetically, but I don't say that in a bad way. It is a fun popcorn movie. If you haven't seen it and you're interested in this sort of stuff, I would say go see it. Also, the effects were really good. I mean, the Kong looks like, a big, 100-foot
gorilla.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, he just, and the expressions on this stuff and him doing, mixed martial arts and stuff. It's just, this movie to me was just pure joy from the beginning to the end. It was really a blast.
I got probably two last things to say about this movie.
26 last things.
So just getting on the Kong being an ape thing, every time the one character kept calling him a monkey, I was like, I want that person to die. He's not a monkey. Monkeys have tails. And then when that person died, I was like,
they set that person up to.
Did you feel vindicated
to
when
be
he died?
irritating?
I mean, come on, man.
Not vindicated, satisfied.
Okay, there you go.
Wow.
There you go. But my question always is, why does anyone in these movies think it's a good idea to transport Kong or Godzilla anywhere? Why?
The arrogance of man.
It
That's
seems
the obvious
misguided.
part. But we're all, as a writer, I'm sitting here going, why?
Right.
Why? This is not going to turn out well.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime you have any of these type of movies, it always seems like man thinks that he's superior to these.
And they never listen to the scientists.
No, they never listen to the scientists.
We'll just put it this way: they never listen to the scientists. That's the way every disaster movie goes. They never listen to the scientists.
Ronnie wants to know why Beth is not participating, and then realizes that she hadn't seen the movie, and then he says, "Now burn me some of that Middle Earth love, Beth."
You know what, Ronnie? Why did Thorin have to go back to Erebor and bother Smaug? See? Why? Bad move once again.
Wow.
Hey, I've contended for the longest time.
Middle Earth burn.
Just jump on the Eagles, fly over, drop the ring, and get out. You're done in an hour.
Exactly.
It's a quick movie. It's more like like an animated short.
I know they don't have access to the Eagles at that early. whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Hey,
did.
Eagles,
Yes,
the
they
world
did.
is going to end if we
Gandalf,
don't do this. Oh shit! I better
Gandalf,
They're
stop
busy.
with the dishes.
Frodo,
Like,
Ring,
okay, let's
Eagle.
go.
Fly and go. It's simple as that. Done.
Eagles
One and
have
done. That's it.
lots of stuff to do, folks.
No one's got any stress. Everybody can calm down. It's all good. Frodo doesn't have to leave the Shire except for just the travel, and then we're done.
What's your answer to that, Ronnie? Mr. Tolkien?
It's a
Sean, you're dead to him now.
it's a growing experience for these people now. Come on.
All right, we're moving on to our next subject.
Next subject, please.
We got a new trailer from Loki. It shows a lot more of what's going on out here. Before I get too far in this, let's see. Jury says exactly, and Ronnie says you are dead to me now, Wilson. So
It's all right, brother.
we got to see a lot more about the deal. I have some thoughts on it. Has everyone seen the trailer?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go first to Beth.
Oh, where
Just tell
do
us
I-
what you think about it,
where-
and
where do
where do
I
you think they're
even-
going, and what your impression is.
Where do I even start with this? So I like the idea that Loki's winding up to be not necessarily the fall guy for the whole timeline screw up. Yeah, they're turning Loki into the fall guy for the whole timeline screw up. I mean, let's just face it. But I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. They're really turning him into the anti-hero that we all know and love. And man, Loki's going to screw it up somehow, some way. He's not going to fix anything because it's Loki. But there was an interesting shot that I caught in the trailer that kind of opens up the possibility of another MCU character coming back. Maybe.
Who's that?
Black Widow. Did you guys not catch that little
I
scene?
Oh, I caught it.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
There's a real fast clip.
Okay.
She's sitting on like a stone bench, and he's sitting next to her, like across from her, and they're overlooking the plane of the plane where she died, to get the soul stone where her soul is. And,
Is that where they were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if he's jumping these timelines and everything, there's always the possibility that we could get Black Widow back. Not sure how they would do it. We could see something roped into the new Doctor Strange movie with it. I don't know, but it was something
once we get to all that stuff, anything is possible.
Yeah. Anything, with the whole multiverse starting to open up. I mean, this is a big. To me, that was a very definitive piece of the trailer. I went back and watched it like 3 times to make sure I was actually seeing what I was seeing, and I was like, okay, you guys did go there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. Sean, I'm going to go to you next.
Kevin Feige recently said the one thing that he has learned with the MCU is to never say never. So to say that, in regard to Beth, to say that Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow is gone from the MCU forever.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. Totally agree.
I've seen the most recent trailer for Black Widow, and I'm super excited. Super excited. It potentially can set aside Winter Soldier as one of my favorite MCU films, just based on what I've seen from the most recent trailer. The action looks fantastic. Scarlett doing her role, all the other supporting characters. I think it's going to be fantastic. And with that, I believe that obviously has the potential of bringing her back, because let's face it, Disney likes to make money.
Oh yeah.
And if that does prove to be, quite successful, then why would they not want to make even more money?
Oh yeah.
The Loki trailer in and of itself, I'm super excited for it. Hiddleston, I kind of really want him to be the next James Bond. I fully admit. I think he would be I think he would be marvelous.
Yes.
No pun intended.
It's the right age.
That pun was intended.
No, that was a great one.
But I think he would be absolutely fantastic. But if that doesn't go my way, further adventures of Loki, I am all in for. These Marvel TV series just seem to be amping it up every single one, and
yes, they are.
Yeah.
And it's exciting me to see what they're doing with the shows and how they're going to integrate into the larger Marvel universe. There was a few things that I picked up in the last Falcon and Winter Soldier. We'll talk about later, I'm sure, and that sets up even more stuff. So I can see kind of the branches being created from these TV shows and what's coming on down the road. I'm really looking.
Steve is not in on Hiddleston.
You're
As Bond.
outnumbered, Steve.
Trust me, Steve. Trust me.
What was it called? The Night Manager.
The Night Manager.
Yeah.
Have you seen The Night Manager? If you don't think he'd be a good Bond after that, then
Anyway, I digress.
he would be different. He'd be very different from what we have now. Anyway.
But getting back to the Loki trailer, everything about that, I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see how they take it. I'm really excited to see how Loki's going to shift all of this in his favor, and
yeah, right.
just how this is all going to
He
turn out.
will. He will.
Oh,
He's Loki.
Yeah.
He's Loki. Yeah,
Yeah.
he will.
yeah, he's going to.
I mean, come on, it's going to happen. Now, are they going to be able to bring? Or will they bring back Thor's mom? That's what I want to know.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good.
Mm-hmm.
And Odin by that.
And
Yeah.
Odin.
And Odin.
'Cause, he
what
has
do you
a
think, Walt?
Odin has a tendency to not stay dead himself. So
That's so true.
He's Odin.
It's kind of in the character.
yeah. As the Loki trailer, I watched it a few times, and I caught a few of the things that Beth caught as well. The one thing that I really like about it is this is basically setting up the new MCU big bad. Plain and simple.
Yes.
This is definitely setting up Kang the Conqueror.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, when they
there's
started,
probably a very good chance of that.
oh yeah, and if
We know the guy's already been hired.
right, and if any of you don't have any idea about Kang the Conqueror, there are so many versions of Kang the Conqueror, like in the comics right now that keep popping in and out. Like there are so many versions,
Right.
so there's so many things that they can do with that character. He is that bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Thanos level dude.
Right, he's a Thanos level dude, and just the fact that his whole purpose is to reset his own timeline, basically. And like I said, there are so many versions of this character. Like one version of this character is his younger self,
Mm-hmm.
and his younger self sets up the Young Avengers in the comics. So
Yeah.
so
they've hinted a lot at Young Avengers. I mean, they have all the pieces in place.
they have all the pieces in place for the Young Avengers if you have not been paying attention. And one of those pieces is in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which we'll talk about later. So,
Right.
but
Well, they've announced a Riri Williams television show. I mean, you've got the daughter or the
WandaVision.
Is it the daughter of Hawkeye?
Yeah, we had two of them. We had two of them in WandaVision. Her sons.
Yep.
It's not Hawkeye's daughter. I don't think.
It's someone else, isn't it?
It's someone else.
Ant-Man's daughter is.
It's Ant-Man's daughter. Yeah.
Right. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, and Hawkeye's daughter is in there too. So.
Right. Okay.
But
in the comic.
Yeah, in the comic.
In the comic, yeah.
Okay.
And so the Hawkeye series is supposed to feature Hawkeye and his daughter. So there
you go.
I mean, they are setting this up really well.
They are.
Yeah.
They're throwing out.
Yeah. Young Avengers. Yeah.
We know that they think.
Yeah. And
10 moves ahead.
So I got a feeling. The Young Avengers will play a part in taking down Kang the Conqueror, and Kang the Conqueror himself will be one of the characters involved with taking himself down.
Right.
Probably. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun. This is going to be really, really fun.
Do you think they'll use this to introduce the Fantastic Four?
Oh, definitely. I think because it is hinted that Kang the Conqueror is a long, distant relative of Reed Richards.
Cat Cam.
Peter says hello.
Because his real name is Nathaniel Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they haven't really said that he's related, but I would probably say for MCU they would probably make him related just to make the story be that much more important.
Right. We know the Fantastic Four is coming.
We know they're coming.
I'm curious if they're going to try and roll X-Men in with all of this so that we get the X-Men factor as well.
We saw a little crossover on Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
So
the X-Men.
So are we going to that? So are we going to that story next?
Not yet.
Nope, hold on.
I think that with this Loki trailer, that one thing that I really like is that we're getting a reboot on the kind of nefarious Loki instead of the warm and fuzzy Loki that we had after. It's not Love and Thunder. What was the last one?
Ragnarok.
The last Thor movie.
Ragnarok.
We have a redeemed version of Loki in that movie, but we're getting him way back after the Avengers movie, the first Avengers movie. So this guy he's a problem, wonderfully a problem, which we're going to get to, see that play out again. I think that we are going to see the redemption of that character again. We know it's perfectly possible. And I think that what they're doing is they're setting him up to be, frankly humbled over the course of this thing. They're calling him a time variant, which I think is pretty interesting. He obviously plopped out of stuff. Wow, what cool sets they have. They look like kind of like six. I watched a movie called The Silencers, which is an old Dean Martin spy series that was set back in the 60s, and the sets in this Loki thing remind me about the crazy kind of 60s psychedelic sets that they had in that thing. So I think that that's actually very interesting. Owen Wilson, he looks pretty good in this.
Oh, he's going to be
see
a
him in
riot.
that. I think he is going to be very funny in this, kind of a different role for him. And anyway, I think that this Loki thing, much like what Sean said, I think that this has the potential. I mean, I don't know. I loved WandaVision, and now I can't believe how much I'm into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But this Loki thing may beat both of those things. I don't know. Once again, we're going to get 6, 8, 10 episodes of what looks like movie quality production for multiple hours. I mean, it's just amazing to me what Disney it looks like is going to hit it out of the park one more time.
And I can't wait.
No, I can't either. This is going to be epic.
I can't wait.
Does anyone have any other thoughts on the Loki trailer? If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, watch it. Watch it about 3 times.
I know I've posted it to the group at least once.
Yeah, I mean, all you had to do is put in Loki trailer, take you right to it.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
Yep.
It's worth the watch. All right, we're moving on to the next thing. Here it comes. Well, we weren't really sure what was going to happen with the Snyder Cut, and we pretty much figured that it was over. It might not be over. Justice League Snyder Cut actor Joe Manganiello, did I do that? Do I get the cardboard cookie?
Close enough.
Joins DC fans calling for Deathstroke to return in hashtag Deathstroke HBO Max. Manganiello's one-eyed assassin, real name Slade Wilson, plots with Lex Luthor to carry out a vendetta against Batman and Justice League, a still dangling thread teeing up the killer's return in Affleck's planned but never made Batman standalone. After Manganiello returned to the role for additional photography on Zack Snyder's Justice League, filmmaker Zack Snyder's 4-hour director's cut, a coordinated social media event on Monday, that's last Monday, has hopefuls calling on Warner Media to greenlight a Deathstroke film or spin-off series on the HBO Max streaming service. They made the Snyder Cut happen, folks. Quote, once Batman got canceled, this is Manganiello, this is a quote from him. Once Batman got canceled, I kind of wrote it off and thought this is over. I had actually shifted gears and started working on the studio on an origin film for Deathstroke that also didn't happen. So for me, I just let it go. And then 2 weeks before the Justice League came out theatrically in 2017, I got a call from one of the executives who said, by the way, we've retooled the scene and it's back in at the end to advertise a Justice League 2. So, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen on this? Let's see what your impression. Do you want to see a Deathstroke film? Do you want to see this character, or do you want to bury it as a done?
It's going to happen.
Walt says it's done. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I agree with Walt.
It's going to happen because, everybody really enjoyed Affleck's Batman. I mean, as much as I really didn't care for the Justice League movie, either version, I enjoyed Affleck's Batman.
Right.
Yeah.
And
and
Manganiello
survey on that.
Yeah, Manganiello as Deathstroke was a perfect choice.
Yes.
I want to see
an excellent foil.
I want to see those two go at it.
Yep.
I really do want to see those two go at it. I mean, as far as the darkness of the Snyderverse, as they're calling it, those two characters fit that. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll jump on board with that that hashtag Deathstroke HBO Max. I'll jump on that bandwagon.
If anybody has seen, this is going to sound really weird coming from me. If anybody has seen Manganiello in Magic Mike,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's tall, he's physically fit, he's very athletic, and somewhat limber. I think as a character, as an opponent to Affleck's Batman, he would be fantastic, absolutely fantastic. The fight style of Batman in Batman v Superman was amazing. Probably, in my opinion, the best physical Batman we've ever seen. And if you take that Batman and pit him against Deathstroke,
Yeah.
that's gonna be amazing. That's gonna be just
Like a one-on-one fight instead of with like an alien or a cyborg or something. Put him against another human. And let's see what happens. Let's put 2 hours on that and find out what that fight looks like.
Let Batman do his investigations. Let him figure out what's going on, and then all paths lead to this conflict, and oh my God, sparks will fly.
It kind of writes itself.
Affleck makes a great elder statesman Batman.
Oh boy, does he!
Which is what we see for Justice League, and even with the Snyder Cut, the Justice League still is in its baby foundation stages. Now would be the time to do the Deathstroke movie, where you're focusing on bats and Deathstroke, and you have just a good old fashioned one-on-one that we have not seen in a long time.
We have
correct,
and that. If they went that route with it, and especially if they brought Affleck back, because I really liked his Batman, I'm right with Walt, man. Sign me up.
There's a lot of fans. There's a lot of Affleck fans.
Yeah.
He is still by far my favorite Batman.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean by far. Look, they've apparently contacted him to be in the Flash movie, I think, with also Keaton. So we're probably going to get both versions of that.
We're going to get all versions,
and they're going to open it up. So it's look, if they want to do a one-off on this, why not? Why not give the people what they want?
Is
that too much to ask?
Give us the elder statesman Batman that we've been asking for.
I'm going to say this again. Over two decades ago, Warner Brothers had their shot at doing what Marvel is actually doing, and they said it was stupid and didn't do it.
Yeah.
So now,
right? They had a few pieces in place to do it.
It was the exact same model Marvel is using. Hey, let's introduce this character. Let's introduce this character. Let's introduce this character, and then let's do a movie with all of them together. Was the exact thing that was presented to Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers, if you're watching this right now, just do the damn movie. Just do the damn movie. Just do it.
Give us what we want.
Get people to write it who are interested in the characters.
Don't even talk to Warner Brothers. Talk to Daddy AT&T. Say, hey, take my money.
There you go.
AT&T, take my money.
Hey,
and then they'll get on the horn. They get on the horn and say, Warner Brothers, how about Deathstroke on HBO Max? What do you think?
Yeah.
Movie
theater
done.
Deathstroke,
Yeah.
Here.
I mean,
have all of it.
Okay, now with that thought right there, what about on HBO Max? You've got a Deathstroke series, and in that 10th episode,
Affleck shows up.
In comes Batfleck, and there's the brawl that everybody's been begging for.
That is a hit.
That's a hit. You know what else? You know what else could be even better? The last episode is actually a cliffhanger, and it leads to a theatrical release between him and Batman.
They could play us like that.
And see, for the longest, I've been saying, Japanese movies, sci-fi movies, or whatever, don't really hold up to the quality of what's produced here. I said, but one thing that's really interesting is that, specifically with Ultraman, is that they'll do a whole series and then go, oh, by the way, this summer, to close out this series or this season of Ultraman, we're releasing a theatrical release that will totally close down this series. Oh, and by the way, the previous Ultraman will make a special appearance in this movie.
Right.
Right.
And they've tried it a few times here. The Star Trek series is of movies is a good example of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried it with X-Files twice and failed twice.
Oh boy, did they?
So, but yeah, I mean, it can be done. And right now, Disney Plus is doing it with the Marvel stuff, where they're doing Marvel series, and then they go.
Disney is showing how it's done.
They're showing how it's done again.
And
the only hope that I'm holding out, we can get a Deathstroke series. I mean, they're doing a Peacemaker series, which I'm looking forward to, from Suicide Squad.
They sure are.
So if they can do Peacemaker, John Cena as Peacemaker, a series. We don't know if it's a prequel or if it's happening after the next upcoming movie. Either way, I'm all in. Let's get that Deathstroke. Let's get Deathstroke going. HBO Max theater. I don't care. Either one of those two. I'm going to be fine.
Jaria's fangirling here. She says Magic Mike, married to Sofia Vergara, and star of True Blood. Would love to see him interact with Ben Affleck's Batman.
Let's do it.
So there you go. She's a fan.
Married to Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
He's got to have the patience of a rock. Be patient just a little longer, man. It's coming. It's coming. I promise you.
Wow. All right. We're moving on. Which one do I want to do here?
That one right there. Do that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
Thundercats ho.
Yes.
Ahead of the release of his next movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, next month. This was obviously a month ago. Filmmaker Adam Wingard has been tapped to direct a theatrical Thundercats movie for Warner Brothers. Directly inspired by the cult classic cartoon series, the new movie adaptation will feature a mix of, quote, hyper-real, unquote, CGI and animation. Wingard also promises that the movie won't have the typical animation live-action hybrid look, as he wants the characters to genuinely, quote, look like Thundercats, unquote, instead of the cat people from the controversial movie Cats. Did you guys know that? Did you know that Cats had a butthole cut?
No.
Anyone? Butthole cut?
Oh god.
Apparently, the original version of the Cats had buttholes, and they had to go back in and remove those because those people said they were inappropriate.
Those test viewings didn't go.
People were freaked out even more
Because the cats had buttholes.
with
Apparently they haven't looked
Taylor
at their cats
Swift's
lately.
butthole.
God darn it.
In addition to directing, Adam Wingard will direct Thundercats using a new screenplay written by Simon Barrett. They'll be writing the story completely from scratch by tossing out a previous draft by David Coggeshall. With Coggeshall on board, the project was being developed by Rideback's Dan Lin and Vertigo's Roy Lee, who served as producers on Wingard's movie Death Note. Speaking with Deadline to confirm the Thundercats news, Wingard reveals how it was this connection that enabled, quote, I'm in a place where Godzilla vs. Kong has gone well with Warner Brothers, obviously. He is super hot right now. If he wasn't before, he sure is now. He's got a hit on his hands. They loved the movie. As we were wrapping it, I heard that there was a Thundercat script out there, and it happened to be set up with some of the producers on Death Note. I asked them, I want to rewrite the script with my friend Simon Barrett. This was a huge passion thing for me, so he's into it. I like that. Nobody on this planet knows or has thought as much about Thundercats as I have, Wingard says. They gave me the reins. I saw this as an opportunity to do a new type of fantasy, sci-fi spectacle film that people have never seen before. Wow.
I'm all in. I'm all in. Oh, by the way, it's the Wingard cut that we're looking for in the GVK movie. So,
right.
Not the Snyder.
Right. Walt, what do you think, man? Thundercats movie.
I'm interested to see.
No buttholes.
No buttholes. I'm interested to see what version he's going to do. Like if he's going to do a take on the original or a take on the mid 2010. Yeah, the mid 2010 version.
Oh God, I
remake.
hope not. No.
And I would like to see a combination of the two. I would like to see a melding of the two because I really enjoyed the remake. Not Thundercats Ho, not that. No,
oh Lord,
no,
that was truly terrible.
That was that show was.
There is
horrible.
Nothing about that was good.
There was nothing. I mean, it wasn't even
besides them canceling it. That was
right.
Good.
I mean, I dislike Teen Titans Go, And I thought Teen Titans Go was genius compared to Thundercats Ho. So anyway, but yeah, I'd like to see a kind of a good combination.
Teen Titans Go comparatively is like Citizen Kane compared to Thundercats.
Oh, definitely. So, but yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Thundercats as well, and I'm interested to see. Really what I want to see is Mum-Ra. Everybody, I want to see Mum-Ra.
Yes.
I want to see how they're going to make Mum-Ra look, because in that
Steve
remake,
says that Hiddleston should be Mum-Ra.
No. But
he's just trying to get him busy so he won't be Bond.
Right.
No.
I would say maybe Willem Dafoe.
Ooh.
He'd be a good Mum-Ra.
He'd be a good decrepit Mum-Ra.
Right.
That's
Transformation.
That's pretty good, Sean.
Well, the other one is going to be
yeah.
anyway. So
Yeah. So I would like them to base Mum-Ra off the remake version of Mum-Ra, where instead of having the cape were huge bat wings or dragon wings. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And he was massive, like really massive.
Yes,
so
I think that's the one thing I liked about that remake was how they did Mum-Ra. I'm a diehard original fan of Thundercats, and I liked the remake okay, but
I liked the way that they did the mutants, like Vultureman, and
yes,
the way, because they were ruthless and they were bloodthirsty, and that's what I'd like to see. Like I said, I'd like to see a combination of the original and that remake.
To me, that remake was more aimed for adults, or people of our generation who grew up watching Thundercats in the first place. That was definitely for us.
Yeah.
So, but my only concern is WB being behind it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate concern.
Yeah. I mean, their track record is not very good right now. So
they own the property. So
if we're going to get anything, it's going to be through them.
Yeah.
Then let's hope they do it right. Then.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Sean, what do you think, man? You ready for a Thundercats movie?
I have been ready.
Yeah. To be completely fair, whenever that canon Masters of the Universe came out with Dolph Lundgren,
wow,
I was like, where the hell is my Thundercats?
Right.
I thought that was next.
Yeah.
I've always ever since the first Thundercats episodes came out by Rankin Bass, I was, that was fantastic.
Snarf.
I love the. I hated Snarf. I hated Snarf. Anyway, I loved the characters, although it never set right with me that Lion-O came out of his stasis that jacked.
Right.
Yeah.
Grown is fine.
Yeah.
Grown is fine, but dear God.
Yeah.
What the hell are they feeding you, man?
What kind of steroids were being pumped into that tube?
Yeah.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
The guy comes out with the mentality of a 13-year-old in the body of Arnold in his prime. Are you friggin' kidding me?
Right. Right.
Jesus.
Agreed.
But outside of that, I loved everything about the original. I loved the character designs of the original. I loved the story of the original.
Same here.
You could tell that they were really pushing that line with the stories, where these are for kids and inspiration for their toys, but let's kind of play with more adult themes and something a little bit more mature as far as the background of the stories or whatever. I didn't see a whole lot of the remake, although again the character designs and everything I thought were fantastic, and I was really digging the style that they advanced with. and that Lion-O was far more appropriate. But anyway, I'm huge fan of Thundercats and the sister show, which I still think would be an awesome movie.
Here we go.
Silverhawks.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Their look was so unique.
Steve has already chimed in. He said, "I'll be looking for the Thundercats Silverhawks team up."
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Bluegrass, you could probably leave him out, but the rest of them, man, those guys were awesome.
Yeah.
I totally dug everything about that, and so yeah, if Wingard's going to make it kind of an amalgam of those stories, if he's going to make them look like a realistic Thundercat design as opposed to cats, then by God, let's do this. I'm ready.
Or Cheetah from Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah. I saw what he signed off on in Kong Godzilla. So I mean, I know he's got the eye. He can see where the visuals should be good or they could be bad. He clearly likes the good.
He likes the good.
Let's keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
My only thoughts on the Thundercats. I mean, I love Thundercats. I loved the original version. Watched those. Hurried home every day to see that in the afternoon. Really got a kick out of that. That thing ran for 4 or 5 seasons. I mean, there are a lot of episodes of that original version.
Believe it or not, it only ran 2.
It was only 2.
It only ran 2.
There's a lot of episodes.
But they had
is it 26 episodes per season or something?
It's like since it ran like every weekday, we're talking somewhere around 80 something.
Okay.
Episodes.
Well, that's where I got that then.
So they're
it
running.
Seemed like there were a lot of episodes.
Yeah, they're running on Hulu right now. So if you want to watch them, you can. They're on Hulu.
Right. Both versions. I really enjoyed the 2000s version too. It was a little bit more adult and a little bit more cohesive with their story. They were kind of followed through on the stuff. The design was good. For whatever reason, it just didn't make it. What I like 2 things. Number one, I like that Adam Wingard is on this. I'm now after this weekend and seeing Godzilla versus Kong. I'm a big fan of his. He really brought it in this. Like I said, it was balls out. Science fiction. It was all right there for everyone. So I would like to see that sort of energy come to a Thundercats movie. He obviously has the chops. And the second thing, this is the most important thing. This is the thing that Kevin Feige gets that all of these other executives don't get, which is to hire someone who is into the property.
Yes.
Adam Wingard specifically said that he knows this. He wanted it. He wants in on this thing. Instead of getting someone who's going to fix it,
right?
He's someone who just wants to bring it to the big screen. That's exciting to me. That speaks volumes. If Warner Brothers could learn to get people who enjoy their damn properties instead of people who want to, doll it up somehow, they're going to have a lot more success.
A good example on that are the G.I. Joe movies, the 2 existing G.I. Joe movies. The first one was done by the director of the Mummy movies, and if you recall the accelerator suits, he's like, I'm going to throw these in here because I had this idea, and
it's just a cool idea.
It's just a cool idea, and that movie was a flop.
Yep.
And then the sequel comes out by John M. Chu, and everybody's like, "What? This guy's
where was this?
This guy's claim to fame is directing a Justin Bieber live movie,
right?
And then you hear that he's like, I'm a huge fan of G.I. Joe and blah, blah, blah. And you see that movie and it's like, why didn't they give him a bigger budget? Because this movie was excellent.
Or 2 or 3 sequels.
The only complaint I had about that sequel is they shouldn't have killed off Duke.
No,
I agree because we've talked
the-
about Sean and I have talked about this so many times.
The
chemistry
the
between
chemistry between he and The Rock was
was
fantastic.
Yeah,
so good. Those
yeah,
first scenes. Why would
Yeah.
you get rid of?
If
I mean,
Well-
those guys are busting each other's balls. It's
If
great.
if maybe like in the second movie or the third movie they go after Duke because he's been captured by Cobra and all, fine, do that, get on it,
and
let's go.
the whole reason behind that was that there was so much hate for Channing Tatum's version in the first movie, which that's all
Right.
that's all director and writing.
And see, I've said the same thing about it left me.
You can do it. Come on, man. You can do it.
Hayden Christensen.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody
Yeah.
For sure.
complains
Yeah.
so much about his Anakin Skywalker, and I'm sorry, I've seen him in too many other things.
I mean,
It is not him.
It's not.
don't
Yeah.
don't look
Not
at him.
him.
It
Look
was
at
George.
literally every other great actor
Yeah,
that was in
in
those
that
Star
movie.
Wars movies that were terrible in it.
Yeah,
It was George hamstringing that poor boy into
That's
what he
direct.
was. Hayden Christensen is a very talented actor, and
He
if
got
he were
screwed on that deal.
allowed, he would have been amazing. Same thing in G.I. Joe.
Natalie Portman almost got screwed on that deal as well,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Almost, yeah.
and she's a
Yeah.
great actress.
If in that original G.I. Joe, if Channing would have been able to actually do what he could do, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Also a physical actor.
Yeah.
Let's not forget. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he was nominated for an Oscar for Magic Mike.
Yeah.
He
Right.
made a lot of
Man-
money on that film because he was a producer on it.
The man is
he made
not-
it happen.
The man is not talentless.
No.
Put aside his dancing
Certainly
career, he is
Yeah.
not. He is not talentless, and he was not able to showcase all of what he could do in that movie.
Yeah,
I was God, I was so looking forward to his Gambit. I think he would have been able to play that amazingly, and a lot of people, oh, this stupid blonde.
They
He's
screwed
from
around on that so
Louisiana.
long.
Yeah.
He knows the language. He knows the dialect. He got,
got robbed
rid of
on
it
that.
Yeah.
so that he could work in Hollywood. Thanks, Hollywood. You suck. And so I think if they would have allowed him to do what he is capable of doing, he would have made more of a benchmark with that character. And again, they should have kept him. They should have kept him going in the series.
But yeah, since Wingard's a fan,
Well, that's
Let's
the one
go.
thing that's the one thing that's making me hopeful. I just I hope he's able to navigate the waters of WB to make sure that he puts out a movie that he knows the fans want.
yep.
They sometimes stumble into a hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes. Occasionally.
Shazam.
They need to
That's a good example.
see, and I'm pretty sure that they're like, yeah, go make Shazam. We're working on this Justice League thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's like they stayed out of the.
You need
You
how
know,
much?
they stayed out of
Fine,
their way.
take the checkbook. Just get away.
Keep the fingers out of the pot.
They spent about half as much on Shazam, which means that they kind of stayed out of their way. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what Warner Brothers needs to do. If that's what they have to do to get off the set, to get the executives off the set, spend less on these movies like they did on Deadpool,
Hey.
and let these guys do their thing.
Yeah.
You know they're doing that with The Rock and Black Adam, because you know The Rock isn't gonna stand for that, because this is
Right.
like a pet project of
And
his
that's
own.
another thing where
Right.
he's into it. He's into it. Let him do it.
Just let him do
He's
it.
going to be phenomenal in that role.
I think so. He's
way,
invested.
Can I just add that Zachary Levi is both in the DC and Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, he was in Thor.
Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah,
Wait,
he's one of the
Fandral.
few that did crossovers there.
I'm telling you, Warner Brothers needs to get their what together so we can get an Amalgam movie.
to put them all in the same thing.
Yeah, we need it. We need an Amalgam movie.
Wow.
Either that or all the DC actors just need to keep coming over to Marvel.
What was the
I'm sure they're ready to.
Spider Boy or Super?
It was
Spider-
Spider Boy, Super Soldier.
What was the Batman? It was Batman and Wolverine.
It was Batman and Wolverine, and I can't remember the name of that
It was like
character.
Dark Claw or something.
Those
like
are
that.
two great tastes that taste great together.
Yeah,
Especially if it's Ben Affleck and Hugh Jackman.
yeah.
Oh dear God. Oh.
And they had the X Doom. It was the X-Men and the Doom Patrol.
Right.
Yep.
Wonder Woman was a cross between Wonder Woman and Storm, if I remember right.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, that whole amalgam
forgotten about
universe
that.
was absolutely fantastic.
Pretty
It
wacky.
was
ridiculous. But,
some of it was corny,
but it was fun.
but it was a fun corny. It was like, oh, this is so corny. Let
Yeah.
me read it again.
They had some pretty good people do the stuff. It was
Didn't-
for
yeah.
fun.
Didn't Howard the Duck cross over with somebody?
I think so, and I can't remember it because they crossed over all the Captain Carrot with Howard the Duck and Spider Ham. They did a huge. I mean, that whole thing was just fun. That whole thing was fun.
Howard the Duck and Squirrel Girl, I think.
Really?
Well,
That's what it looks like.
those are both Marvel.
Yeah, those are both Marvel.
Yeah.
Damon
Yeah.
says, just don't let Michael Bay touch Thundercats.
Don't let Michael
Oh,
Bay
God, right? No joke.
touch anything but his own franchise.
Steve says that Tigra already looks like he's straight off of a Broadway production of Cats. She's straight.
If Michael Bay, no, Chitara was
Oh, Chitara, I'm sorry.
Tigra was
Right.
it was whip.
Right.
If Michael Bay wants to produce,
Oh yeah, fine.
he produces amazing films.
He
Yeah.
does.
Just don't let him direct it.
He does, and he gets a
just
lot of
gets
money for his
no-
productions too. So
No
that would be
input
good.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Zero.
sign the check, get out of my way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll put an explosion with the Bay name over here behind everybody as they're walking away in slow motion.
let him film action sequences.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
He does do that well.
He does some really good
Yeah.
action sequences. Let him
Ma-
film all the action sequences.
Maxine wants to know, Walt, if you gave her a Thundercats zip-up jersey.
I did. It was a hoodie.
That's pretty
Nice.
cool. Damon says, I always had a feeling that Duke was kept alive by Cobra Commander, who had him under mind control. Remember how Bruce Willis said that you never kill your greatest asset?
Absolutely.
Hey, that's a deep
And-
cut there, man. That's pretty good.
There was no body. There was no body where Duke was, unless he was vaporized.
That's pretty
there was
good,
no
Damon.
body.
All right.
I always held hope.
Nobody stays dead
I
in
always held
comics and literature
No, not really.
and G.I. Joe.
I'm not going to go through the. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I would like to talk a little bit about this. We're going to go on for 3 or 4 more hours again. Anyway, we're going to switch our subject here. We're going to talk a little bit about this week's episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, because I know everyone has seen it here. What's your? Let's go to Beth. I mean, I know that Beth is chomping at the bit.
Yeah. I mean, look at her shirt and look
Yeah,
at that
let's
teddy
look
bear
at
in
the
the background.
shirt.
Look at that
I
teddy
mean,
bear in the background.
You know,
Come on, guys.
She's-
I live for
she's
Bucky.
brandishing Bucky.
I live for Bucky. Okay, and I make no bones about it.
That's all right. That's all right.
Man, the programming may not be there, but the Winter Soldier definitely still exists.
Oh boy.
Probably my favorite part of all of Bucky's fight scenes in that whole thing is when he picks up the pipe and he throws it like a Wakandan spear.
Oh yes.
Located at that. He throws
Yes.
it. He throws it with the mechanical
He
arm.
does.
Okay, and he
Yes.
just. Woof.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Is it
punctured that
wrong?
dude.
Is it wrong that I had a Commando flashback at that moment?
No, it's
I
not.
was just waiting for him to
Yeah.
say, "Let off some steam."
No. It was stick around Bennett.
No.
Was it? Wasn't that one?
Homer
No.
Lord.
Stick
thought-
around was in Predator, let off some steam, Bennett, whenever the pipe went through him and through
and the steam comes out.
The steam,
steam is coming out of the pipe.
Either way,
All right, let's go back to Beth.
We're definitely starting to see X-Men influences in this, especially bringing them into Madripoor. But I have to say that the bromance between Falcon and Bucky is starting to become apparent, especially when they're bickering like a married couple over having Zemo come and help them as Zemo walks in, and then
so good. Such a great scene.
Just actually the playoff of each other with Zemo. I mean, Daniel Bruhl did a great job just kind of getting himself integrated in there, and now suddenly you have a trio and you're sitting here going, I thought you were a bad guy. Wait a minute, you're not. So I'm really excited to see where they're going to go with this. I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do with Sharon.
Yeah,
because
I don't think she's done.
She's definitely not done, but but I'm questioning which side of the coin Sharon's actually playing on at this point.
She's got an axe to grind.
She's got a big axe to grind. And of course, we've already had the reference back to Bucky being the White Wolf. Now we have seen we've seen Ayo come back in, and Bucky's seeing the Wakanda beads laying around. He starts collecting them, so that was a big tell that we're going to get someone. Which member of the Dora Milaje were we getting? We got Ayo, who we saw in Civil War.
Yep.
So what are they doing with Bucky's character with White Wolf? Is he taking over as the head of the Wakandan? Will he eventually take over as the head of the Wakandan secret police? Is he going to wind up having his own band of war dogs? Are they going to go a completely different direction with him? Because I'm also seeing out there pictures of Sebs in the Captain America suit. So are we going to get Bucky as Cap? We're 3 episodes in, and I'm sitting here going, what are you doing to me? Because I'm like, I want you to go in so many different directions, but yet I'm excited to see where they do take it.
Right.
Sean, what do you think, man? What were your thoughts from that episode?
Oh, I had so many, so many. First off, I was kind of hoping, not really thinking that it would happen, but I was kind of hoping it would be cool with Zemo speaking of his royalty, that there might be a nod or just a line talking about a leader of a Eastern European country,
right,
that wears a lot of metal,
right. Well, they said,
and a green hoodie.
They were in Latvia.
Yeah.
And for a minute, I thought, oh my God, but that's Latveria. But that's close. They swerved me for a second.
Yep.
So I was hoping that they would do something, not really expecting it, but this would be a cool place to do it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I absolutely love about MCU as opposed to DC is, so far, all of the villains in the MCU, even Red Skull, all of the villains are not cut and dry.
No,
they're not. No. They're not just bad guys.
They're multifaceted.
Yeah. Whereas you look at Luthor from the Superman movies, and it's like, he's just a dick.
You're right. Right.
So
there's nothing redeeming about him whatsoever.
No, I have no sympathy for him, or I don't understand his motivations.
In Man of Steel, he's just a dick. I mean, there's nothing about him.
It's true.
That complexity of the bad guys not there. Thanos, whenever he came onto the scene, you're told that's a bad guy, and then you hear what he has to say, and you're like, oh well, yeah, I can kind of see that. That's
Right.
not bad.
That kind of makes some sense.
You're
I kind of feel
just-
bad for the guy.
Killmonger's the same way.
Killmonger.
the same
For
way.
sure.
Absolutely,
Loki.
excellent.
Yeah, even
Definitely Loki.
even
For
Loki.
sure, Loki.
Even Loki, yeah.
See, I still don't see Loki as being bad. He's just mischievous.
He's just a jerk.
Yeah, he's just a jerk.
He's a jerk.
He's
not.
the likable jerk.
Yeah, there's nothing evil about him necessarily. It's just he likes agitating people.
Yeah.
But
I would have to say
Zemo,
I would have to say the closest MCU villain to being like Lex Luthor would be what's his name from Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Obadiah Stane.
Yeah.
now Obadiah Stane, he was
He's
a
a
worthless.
jerk.
He was a worthless villain.
That was early MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
and
was
they
still
got rid of
worthless,
him.
though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they got rid
Tony,
of him.
Tony
That's
took
fine.
short work of him.
Yeah, the early version of the MCU villains were pretty thin.
Yeah.
But they figured it out. They're moving.
They did Thanos.
Zemo,
That was their graduate thesis.
Zemo is illustrating himself to be more complex. You know, at any moment he's going to turn on our heroes.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
But the thing is, I think they know this and they're prepared for when
Yeah.
that eventually does happen.
I mean, they're not stupid.
But in the meantime, he's going to dance at the club.
Right. The references to we talked about the Young Avengers earlier, and you can see those seeds being planted, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that develop, and everybody's going to be like, oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, because you're stupid, and it all goes back
Because you guys
to
didn't
all
pick-
these different little areas. I'm really looking forward to seeing how all this develops. You mentioned the White Wolf.
Mhm.
God, I can't wait to see you. That's got to happen. He's got to go
I
back
need
to
that to
Wakanda.
happen. Yeah, I need that to happen.
He might be what brings the new Black Panther into the MCU. God bless you, Chadwick. There's so much that was laid in this episode that I'm already looking forward to where these branches are going, which again, getting back to what I was saying earlier, all of the MCU shows are really just bam, bam, bam. They're keeping me. It's not, God, I can't stand this show, but I better watch it because no, you've got my attention. You have my wholehearted attention,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm looking forward to everything that's coming down the pike.
It's got me looking forward to Fridays.
I'm saying,
Yes.
And not for WWE SmackDown, but for other
in this-
things.
in this day and age where everybody is so jaded because Netflix allowed everybody to binge watch an entire season of a show in 6 hours, and then they've got nothing to do for the next month.
Right.
You're right. This is making me sit here and say, "Come on, Friday! Come on, Friday!"
Kind of fun.
What's it called? What's that saying? Must see TV.
Yep.
It harkens back to, granted, now that it's on streaming, you can stream it whenever after it's released. Reminds me of when I was younger. Sit down, folks. Whenever we had VHS tapes and we could, set the
Dick Van
automatic
Dyke Show?
record. Right.
Before VHS tapes, I mean, I remember as a kid waiting for Buck Rogers and
Yeah.
Mom and Dad had their TV upstairs. Mom was watching, her nighttime soaps, and my grandparents lived downstairs. My grandfather went to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock. My butt was downstairs. Grandma told me, put on your shows, and she'd sit there and knit and crochet while I watched Buck Rogers or Battlestar Galactica. And it was like a little date between my grandmother and I, because at some point she'd go and she'd get ice cream and she'd just bring me ice cream, and I'd be sitting there.
Yeah,
every Friday night.
All those shows, sitting down and watching the $6 Million Man.
Yep.
You know, the Wonder Woman TV series. The Incredible Hulk was Sunday night TV for us. The Incredible Hulk every Sunday night.
That was one of Mom's shows, so we always watched that with Mom.
Yeah,
she loved the Incredible Hulk.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun,
I wrote an article on that. It's called I called it the shared experience. We no longer have many opportunities for a shared experience. You would see something like over the weekend or something, and then Monday when you go to school or you go to work or whatever, you would talk to people about what happened over the weekend. We don't have many opportunities for the shared experience. It's all fragmented. People are watching, old episodes. Like I watched Firefly, maybe 8 years after it was released. And then when I got to the end of Firefly, I'm like, oh my God, they canceled this. I hate this. And I had no one to talk to about it, because it wasn't a shared experience. I wasn't there when they originally canceled it and stuff. These Disney Plus series definitely have the shared experience, which is wonderful. We're all on board together on Fridays. That's when they release them. It's kind of fun. It's nice to return to that.
It is.
You guys have covered all of the stuff about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's just one other thing I wanted to mention, and that is when I heard that Baron Zemo was going to be on this. It's a nice little callback, because obviously in the Winter Soldier he was a big part of that and Civil War and all that. I think that when I originally heard that Baron Zemo was going to be in this, I figured that they would go see him in jail, they'd talk to him, and somehow he would end up being the villain in the thing, but we wouldn't see much of him, during the course of this thing. I certainly didn't expect that we would get like a road movie with Baron Zemo. What the hell? I mean, it's like it's totally crazy that like they have really ripped off the lid on this character and really made him into someone super cool and interesting, unlike anything that I ever imagined. I mean, this show continues to surprise me and continues to offer neat little nuggets. Now, again, I know is going to betray that crowd, at some point. But like someone was mentioning, like if you compare Baron Zemo with who was it? Someone else who was in the show. At least you know where Baron Zemo's coming from. You know what his motivations are. You know how he feels about this stuff, and I do legitimately think that he wants to put an end to the super soldier serum. So they have an ally to that end, if nothing else. And yeah, the actor who did him really got to let it all hang out in this last episode. It was so good.
I've got something about that whole super serum. Spit it out, Walt.
Super soldier serum.
Super soldier serum.
Say that 10 times fast.
No.
Yeah.
I think Baron Zemo's after it for himself.
Yeah.
Because
could be.
He
killed the guy that could make it.
I'm a little familiar with
spoiler alert
with this character in the comics, so that, and I also think that John Walker is going to end up taking that serum too. So I
don't think there's any doubt about that. We're going to get John Walker with the super soldier. No doubt about it. He's going to get it at some point. They got 20 vials of that running around.
Yeah.
Now, my question is...
The real villain here is the power broker. So,
is that Sharon?
I don't know. Because in the comics that's a totally different character, but MCU has known to swerve.
They swerve you a little.
Yeah, because White Wolf in the comics was somebody completely different. It wasn't Bucky,
different.
So
right.
I wouldn't be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if the Power Broker was either Sharon or Baron Zemo. To be honest,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sharon knows exactly who it is and she's working for it.
Yeah.
I gotta get some comments out here, folks.
Either way.
You know the saying, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Right.
That's Zemo right now.
And you know what Stone Cold Steve Austin says? DTA.
You know it.
Damon says Arnold's saying stick around. That's from Commando when he threw the knife at that guy.
You are incorrect. Go check it. And if I am wrong, I will apologize completely.
How about that? He said, when I saw the lady from Black Panther, I actually got kind of sad. I thought maybe if Chadwick was still alive, that would have been his cameo. I don't know if they would have gotten
I
Chadwick
don't
Boseman
think
on
so,
there.
only because if that be the case, it would have been Danae instead.
Yeah.
Gara.
With
Yeah.
with
Okoye. It would have been Okoye.
Okoye.
That would have been cool.
With
What is she doing? She could have done that.
right now, I don't know. She might be filming a her part in the Walking Dead movie.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
Michael says Sean is the most fashionable. Peep wants Sean's shirt, right? Not Spawn's shirt, but Sean's shirt. You want to show your shirt there, buddy?
Commodore
People can
64.
see what's going on there.
It's a pretty epic shirt.
That's taking it back. Way back.
Really
Way
old
back.
school. Yeah, that's real old school, man.
Thanks to Michael
Hey,
for
I
chiming
got
in
to
again.
represent me.
Damon says Loki is a backstabber and Thor should have killed him years ago. Thor was the only one ever that for a little orphan boy, and he treated him like shit.
You know, in the original Avengers movie, there's one shot where Loki stabs Thor with a little hand dagger. Thor yanks it out, throws it to the ground, and the camera holds on that dagger for a little bit longer than you would think normal.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, is that thing going to show up again? And I'm waiting for that thing to come back up.
Bet it is in the series.
I don't know.
We're gonna
Chris
keep an
is
eye out.
ready to watch Battlestar Galactica.
Yes.
Yeah, did that too on
Yes.
That was my Sunday, man.
Yep.
Damon wants to know: Do you think that John Walker's already had the super soldier serum?
Sunday. Not yet.
I
Not
don't
yet.
think he has
but
either. I think he's just pretty good at hand to hand,
Yeah.
I do think that
and he's
he is
using the
at least with
physics,
Zemo.
breaking the physics with that shield, like we know it can do.
I do think he's going to end up being controlled by Zemo
Yeah. Yeah. Something's
It
gonna
wouldn't
wind
be a
up happening
surprise.
with him.
Yeah.
if he's not already.
Did you guys hear that they talked to the actor is taking, like, he's getting John Walker, the actor who plays John Walker, is getting death threats. People
That's
are very
stupid.
upset. It's so
They
stupid.
need to leave him alone. That is Kurt Russell's
They're
son.
all so
Back away.
they're all so upset, at it not being, whatever, Chris Evans.
Shut up, people.
See, that
have
right
you
there
heard-
shows you how toxic.
Have you
these
heard from?
fans
Yeah,
can
it's just
be.
there are certain people for sure that
Yeah.
need to get their act together.
Is
Did
it
you
the
hear what his
Ritalin?
response?
Are they overdoing it?
Cut back on the
I'm
Ritalin.
saying something. Quit drinking sodas. I don't care what it is. Y'all people are batshit crazy. Y'all need to calm down.
It's just a series, folks.
Hate
It's
the
a
character,
Did
not
you hear the
actor.
quote from the guy though, the actor? He kind
No.
of said, "Bring it on." He said,
He's Kurt Russell's son.
He said, "Yeah." He's like, if you guys hate this character because he's not the old Captain America, then I'm doing my job.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
He didn't take it personal. He didn't go crawl into a corner. He didn't, ask to be coddled. He just said, "You know what? This is the perfect reaction. I'm getting exactly what I want out of this. Mission accomplished."
As
Good for him.
on a side note to that, which is kind of in the same vein, the one time I got to meet Miz from WWE.
He's the
he
perfect
was-
example of
He's
that.
a perfect example of that because I walked up to him and
He's
I
a
said,
heel and proud of it.
and this is when him and Morrison were tag team champions way back in 2007. And I walked up to him and I said, "You know what?" He goes, I said, "It's nice to meet you, Miz." I said, "My mom loves to hate you. I said, "You do your job well." And this is the reaction I got from the Miz. And he goes,
He knows, man.
and then he goes, "You want to take a selfie?" I said, "Yeah." So if you're ever on my Facebook page, there's a picture of me and the Miz, and he's holding his half of the tag team title, and I'm just like, that's the man. So, but
You
yeah,
know,
he's doing his job.
one of our friends we've spoken about before was had his own bout as a professional wrestler for a short time, and in that time, I can tell you, Dirk and myself, as well as several of our other friends, met a lot of these professional wrestlers, and every single heel that we met were some of the nicest, coolest guys you could ever hope to meet.
You see them backstage or after the show and stuff, and they're so cool.
And it was always the ones that were the faces. They were the jerks, and the heels were so flipping cool.
That is true.
So yeah, I totally buy that Miz is one of the. Well, I mean, I've seen his show. I've seen his reality show with his wife, and I don't get into reality shows. I think they're all stupid. But you're channel surfing, you come across something, and he genuinely strikes me as being just a super cool dude.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really hate that character so bad, that actor is doing their job. That's what they were hired to do.
Yeah, man.
If you don't like him, you don't like John Walker as Captain America. I don't like John Walker as Captain America either. But I'm enjoying the fact that they have the character in the series.
Yeah. Marvel is well aware that you don't want another Captain America. That's the point.
That's the point. That's the whole point.
They're grinding on you on that subject. That's your reaction is exactly right. Don't threaten the life of the actor, though.
They know that the fans either want to see Bucky or Falcon end up with the shield if we can't have Steve Rogers.
But they're telling a story.
Yeah, exactly. And they're just gonna drag it out.
Let them tell the story.
Yep.
And we will see probably John Walker in a lot of stuff. He's got
quit jacking the riddle in you.
He has a rich history in the Marvel universe. There's a lot of storylines that rotate around that character.
Just look up U.S. Agent, y'all.
Yep, U.S. Agent.
Google U.S. Agent.
Hey guys,
it'll all come full circle.
Let's go on blast. So much for getting out in an hour and a half.
Let's just keep it as normal.
We told you that wasn't going to happen.
The only way you're going to do that is if you have one topic.
Yep.
That's okay. I didn't imagine that we would talk. We talked a long time on Kong and Godzilla, which is okay.
Because that was the shizzle this week.
Yep, it was. I know that Walt loves On Blast. We're going to talk about things that we have consumed. Although Walt may not have anything because all he's consumed is Kong Godzilla. But we're going to go to him first.
Yes, so, of course, Godzilla versus Kong. Watch that. Watch the first 4 episodes of the Invincible, the animated series Invincible.
Good.
And it's very good. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, the creator of The Walking Dead, this is his next big thing. So if you have Amazon Prime, check it out. Other than that, not much. Not much. Right. Yeah. So,
Beth, we're going to you next.
Well, my big news for this week was, the whole interview with Max. So that's
look at how she glows.
Dude, man, I might have looked calm, cool, and collected in that interview, but I'm telling you right now, my stomach I had butterflies and everything. And my best friend she's in the music business. She gave me probably some of the best advice before the interview. And she just, reminded me he's a human too with feelings and a personality. Just remember that. And I just kept that going through my head. And then Max and I we were joking around while we were waiting for Dirk to get in the room, and that kind of helped. So that's been my big thing. The other thing, consuming as far as stuff that I've watched besides Falcon and Winter Soldiers, I'm rewatching the history series Vikings.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, gearing up for there's 2 reasons. One, I have a novel in my head that I've kind of outlined that's, Viking romance, because I write romance, okay? Come on. The other is that actor Clive Standen, I have been a fan of his since I saw him in BBC's Robin Hood as Archer.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
he's in a couple of episodes in the last season, and I pulled out the very first manuscript that I ever started writing and that I've ever finished, and it's one of the books that I insist on getting out this year. And I realized that him as an actor, the way he presents himself as Rollo in Vikings, his speech patterns, his look, is my main character in that particular book. So I've been rewatching Vikings and some of his other stuff just to get like mannerisms and speech patterns in my head for when I sit down to rework that book.
Cool.
But the love for Bucky will always
love is
be
real.
here. The love is real. That's all I got.
All right, Sean, you're up.
Well, I've consumed quite a bit. Obviously, Godzilla versus Kong, great. If you haven't seen it, by all means, please do. Bucky and the Winter Soldier, as previously stated,
Yes.
great. Watch it. If you haven't, check it out. Also, as Walt said, I have watched all of the Invincible up to this point, and absolutely true. It's a fantastic retelling of the comic series. If you've enjoyed the comics at all, you got to check out the animation or the animated show. It's great. One of my friends said that he didn't care for the animation, and I don't necessarily agree. I think they did a great job with the character designs. I think they did a great job with the animation as a whole. It's everything that you could hope for in an animated show. They tell the story wonderfully, and they don't shortchange the gore or the brutality.
No, they do not.
Of the
if you don't like the blood, then
yeah,
you might want to stay away from that.
I gotta check this one out.
It's chunky and it's juicy.
I always tell people that if you are a fan of The Walking Dead and everything that went on there, it's the same thing but with superheroes.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It certainly is.
It's I would dare say, it's in the vein of The Boys. It's in the vein of
that's a good comparison.
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta watch it then. Yeah.
You've got heroes who are normal people like you and me. They're not.
The voice cast is excellent.
The voice cast
is insane. Who they have involved in this thing.
Yeah, I was amazed to see who was all involved with the voices.
They start listing it. It's like, good God.
What? Yeah.
So if you haven't checked it out, Amazon Prime, definitely give it a look.
We'll probably cover it next week.
It's a great show. It really is. I've read too many comics and done too many audiobooks over the week to really talk about all of those. Although I will say, I mentioned the Meg earlier in the show. I originally read Meg back in the 90s, late 90s. And it was a really interesting book, not like you saw in the movie. If you saw the movie, I'm sorry about that. Not that the movie was bad. It was not a good representation of the novel, mainly because China and anyway, it doesn't matter. But I've continued with the series. They have I believe 6 books, and I'm finishing up number 5 right now. If you enjoyed the first one, it's so far it's been a great series. If you enjoyed the first Meg book, I highly recommend checking out the others. They've been a lot of fun. They're not shy on the killings. It's Steve Alden, who has prior to the Meg, he had a lot of interest in the ocean and underwater creatures and so on, which is what kind of drove him to write this book, and you can definitely tell that he holds the sea creatures in more regard than he does the human species, because there's a lot of fodder throughout the novels. A lot of gore. If you like gore in your novels, these books have it in great detail. By all means, check them out and enjoy.
Damon says that he wants to see Anthony Mackie get the serum. What do you guys think about Captain America with wings?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I got several. I got a few collected trades of Sam Wilson as Captain America with wings and the shield. So
Yep.
I would
Did
absolutely.
he get the super soldier serum?
no,
No,
he didn't get the
Yeah, I
serum.
didn't think he ever got that.
No, I don't think he needs it.
but even
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
even in the comics when Bucky was the Cap, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that costume.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too.
Yes.
That I'm all for it.
I'd be satisfied with either one of them becoming.
We
Captain
may see
America.
both of
Yeah.
them as Captain America.
Hey.
They're kind of hinting that
And if that be the case, rock and
they
roll.
may tag team on that title.
Tag team it.
And it wouldn't be the first time that they've had two Captain Americas at the same time.
Exactly.
So
It would
Exactly.
be a great tribute to Steve Rogers if
Oh,
they
yeah.
did do it where both Bucky and Sam were Cap at the same time.
And I think that's the direction we're going in.
yeah. I hope so.
Michelle says we all know that we watched the first few seasons of Vikings for Ragnar.
Nope. Watched it for Rolo. Sorry. I have to argue with you on that one.
Dude,
Hello,
Ragnar was
Michelle.
the man. To this day, I say that Ragnar's the man. Even through everything he went through, God, he was a man. And also, I still hate snakes because of Ragnar. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that whole scene. But, Blood Eagle, man. That was awesome. Yeah, that was
Look it up. I'm not going to go into it.
awesome. Me neither, but,
Brutal.
My on
Brutal.
blast last week was one of the busiest weeks I've ever had. It was like insane. I did a day long shoot, and then got ready for the I did a piece of artwork, and then got ready for the big anniversary show, which was like stressful beyond belief. Then did the interview with Max, which you should probably check out, and then did another full day shoot that followed that. And then by Friday I was pretty blown out, and Saturday and Sunday all I did was work photos, and then yesterday photos again, and some other.
Did you
It's just
sleep?
it's like one thing right after another. I literally have like over 15 sets of photos to work, and I'm through like 5 of them. So I'm doing the best that I can to catch up on stuff. But I did watch that thing called The Silencers, which with Dean Martin. It's a Matt Helm movie. If you're not familiar with the Matt Helm movie, these are back in the mid 60s. He's kind of a James Bond sort, but like more of a player. I mean, like exactly precisely the things that they're having problems with James Bond right now. Matt Helm leaned more into it. These were very silly, tongue-in-cheek style things. I remember liking these things back in the 70s or 80s when they were replaying them, and I really wanted to see it. And looking at it through the eyes of 2021 is kind of surreal. It's definitely the sort of thing that could not be done today for sure. But also kind of an interesting, entertaining show with, kind of harmless, innocent type stuff with a lot of tongue-in-cheek things. And, anyway, it was entertaining to me, and exactly what I needed after, last week, the craziness of last week, and being buried in, trying to work photos this week. It's taken me 4 hours to do a set. So do the math on that. It's going to take me a while to get through these things. Yeah. And when you do a photo set for people, they're like, when am I going to have all my photos? They're all like, they want all of their photos now, and yet, but they also want a lot of photos, and they want them, sufficiently worked. So it's like it's a grind from every level. I want a lot of photos. I also want them to look great, but I also would like to have them last week.
Yeah.
So that's
Been there, done
the situation. That's the situation, And if you turned them, if you said, "Oh, I only did only worked a third of the photos because you wanted them so quick, and I didn't work them as hard," they'd be like, "Oh, I really wanted some more photos," and it's like, well, something's got to give. You can't have all of it.
Dirk has to sleep at some point.
I just, it's going to take 4 hours.
Andy, yeah.
And I have everything else that I usually do. It's not like, I can stop all the other stuff that I'm doing. So anyway, say lovey. Hey, you know what?
Like that song.
I'm really thankful that suddenly I don't know whether it was the stimulus or whatever, but to get 2 major shoots in one day or in 1 week is a good sign, folks. That's a very good sign. So I'm not complaining. I'm very thankful to have this situation for sure. Well, before we get on with stuff, do you want to share this now, or do you want to share your thing when we're talking about promotion?
Let's do it when we talk about promotion. Let's go straight to promotion.
All right. Then let's do. Why don't you talk about, you want to set this up, or you want me to just whip it on people?
Okay, so as you all know, I
have it on people.
Hey, there is that song, just whip it, whip it, baby. Let's whip it, right? Come on.
Right.
Anyway, as you know, we've been trying to get us some Taskforce Geek swag, to share.
Swag, y'all.
And everybody loves the Spicy King.
Yep.
So here is the prelim of the the Spicy King T-shirt.
Yes.
So it's coming along. I got a few little things to get done to it, but we are going to have a Spicy King T-shirt. So coming up pretty soon here.
What do you think? What is everyone's thoughts about the Japanese lettering?
Love it.
And it does say Spicy King in Japanese, by the way.
How cool is that?
I had to look that up. So
That was awesome.
How did you come up with that? That is cool, man.
But,
tell us what your process is there. That's you draw analog, right?
Actually, yeah. In fact, if you've been seeing it right over here, this is the original sketch.
There you go.
So I just scanned it in basically, and
you remember back in the olden days,
and the olden
when
days,
dinosaurs roamed the earth and people used pencils on paper.
Yeah. So usually what ends up happening is I go to the laundromat because that's the only way that I can get myself to fold up my laundry so I can put it away.
Which, by the way, fitted sheets, man, you're a god.
Hey, thank you.
Right? No joke.
So
mine are always a wad in the corner.
So
did we lose?
So while the laundry's working,
okay, there you go.
So while the laundry's working, I'm sitting out in the car with a sketch pad or two, and I get sketches done in the car, waiting on laundry
on the fly.
So that's where these days that's where I do a lot of my sketching, is sitting in the car. Sitting in the car, waiting on the laundry to get done.
I heard Scott Van Eck works in the car.
So, but anyway,
I could not draw in the car.
I just pull the seat all the way back, set the phone up, put on Disney Plus or Netflix, and let it float, let it come in over the car stereo. So, but yeah, that's what I've been working on. The next thing I'm going to be working on is for a T-shirt, which I'll probably put on my own store. I have my own store. I have this sketch here.
What's that?
This is my optimal girl.
Hey now.
So
I know somebody that would love a copy of that T-shirt.
Let me tell you what you should do with that. You should contact the fine people at T Fury or one of those that Ripped Apparel or whatever. Why not why not bring that home and put it through one of the major?
I have.
I mean, that's
things,
a mashup thing. They love that.
I know. I've sent things like that to them before, and I've gotten no response. So I did a
Telling
jet.
you're on Taskforce Geek.
Well, this was years ago. So I did a shirt called Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
And I had the that little symbol that's on his chest, and everything. But instead of doing a robot, I had an actual Jaguar, the car, and I used Photoshop and I put actual jet engines on the Jaguar.
Oh, nice.
So it was a Jet Jaguar, and they didn't accept it.
Oh.
Well, I'll tell you something. The internet loves pictures of girls.
So I'm going to do it for myself on my own store.
Okay.
And I will market the hell out of it.
All
because we have Taskforce Geek.
We'll help make it happen.
So
we'll help make it happen.
I will announce when it's ready, and it will be out on the store, and you all can go and grab it. So
I likes it.
Cool.
Michelle says she loves the lettering.
Thank you very much.
Dude, it's badass.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. We're going to go to Beth next.
Just, buy my books. That's pretty much all I've got right now. Buy my books, buy my audiobooks. You can find them at my website, bethanfreely.com.
Where the heck are here we go.
Hey,
Robin's finding it. There it is.
There it is. There's Dorian, which you've heard me talk about Max. He's my narrator for Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray. You want to listen to it. You definitely want to listen to it. But yeah, you can find all my novels at bethanfreely.com. You can find me at BA Freely on both Twitter and Instagram. And keep an eye out. Hopefully by the end of the month, the third book will be out and ready for you guys to consume and enjoy.
All right. Hey, by the way, if you just go to Audible, look up Behind the Eyes of Dorian Gray, then play the sample. Just play the sample. It's 3 minutes long. If you listen to that and you are not entranced by Beth's words and by the smooth, dulcet tones of Max Brown, then you may want to check your pulse.
And here's a little
he is
tidbit.
a very good narrator.
Here's a little tidbit about that sample. When we did this through ACX and everything, they tell you to send in, the sample that's going to be used on there. I sent an email to Max and I said, you pick, because he said to me, he goes, what do you want me to use for the sample? I said, no. I said, you pick the sample.
Yeah,
I said, I want you to pick your favorite.
Say dealer's choice.
Passage or whatever for the sample. And that's what he picked.
That's the way to do it. He's just really good. I mean, for doing it the first time, he's got the voice. He's British, but but he also has the delivery. He has that emotion. He really puts it out there. Sean listens to a lot of audio. There's no one that listens to audiobooks like Sean and Ronnie. And I'm sure that if they listened to it, they would tell you that guy instinctually knows how to deliver.
Yeah, he does.
The narration for sure.
He does.
Sean
I've
Wilson.
got 2 credits. I just looked at my Audible account and I have 2 credits I need to use.
Awesome. Yes. Please do. Yes.
Here we go. Here's some stuff.
Very nice. As far as promotion, same as always. Please go check out rankingstudios.com. Check out the website. Take a look at the portfolios. Let us know what you think of the work that we do and the work that we have down the pike. We've got tons of projects that we're working on. Dirk, myself, the other members of Ranking Studios, the Spicy King, Scott Prime, and Robert Henry. We all have things coming up, so please be sure to check out the website, put it in your favorites, bookmark that bitch, because you're going to want to be seeing what's coming up.
A lot of good things.
Also, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Facebook.com/Ranking Studios. Same thing. We've got some stuff coming up that hopefully will pique your interest and entertain you as much as we can. Because that's what we like to do. So please feel free, stop by those areas, drop us a line, let us know what you think, good or bad, doesn't matter.
It's good stuff.
Just talk to us. We're lonely.
Yeah, man. Don't you want some human contact? We'll talk to you.
Please write us.
All right, let me run my ticker here. Ranking Studios, About Us, Dark Hooper. Twitter at Dark Hooper Plus. LinkedIn at Dark Hooper Plus. I'm on TikTok, yo. I'm at Dark Hooper on there. Also, Facebook.com, Dark Hooper Artworks. I have something to show you. I have show and tell.
Uh-oh.
Yay!
How about that? Here it comes. Are you ready? There's a Ranking Studios card.
Nice.
What do you think about that? It's not really.
That's nice.
It's not really focused in.
Stop moving it, man. There
Put
you
it
go.
over my mug face. There we
you go.
go. That's the front of it. There's the back. Writing illustration.
Woohoo!
What do you think? Good stuff.
Good stuff.
There's the address and stuff. That was designed by Sean. Sean and I both got one of these. We're looking to get the other two guys if we can hear from them. We'll get them some cards too. But how about that design job? It's got some swooshy.
I like the swooshy. The swooshy's nice.
It's got the blue and yellow. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. I like it. Anyway, good.
Spiffy cards.
Good job. I needed some cards that didn't have like naked chicks on it.
Where'd Walt go?
Mission accomplished. No nude chicks on that.
We lost Walt.
I know. He kind of died a little earlier, so I guess we lost him. Maybe he'll come back before we wrap this up, but we're almost done. So if anyone wants to say anything at the last minute, now's the time.
Check out Walt on Twitch. Don't forget to check out Walt on Twitch with his racing and his ever-growing mad skills with his livery and all that stuff.
Yep. That's good stuff. Anything else, folks? Here comes some comments. Steve says, very Blue Angels colors. Love the cards. They're nice, aren't they? They're bold. I like them. All right, folks. That's it. What else? I'm not even going to run through all the stuff we've been on forever.
We have lots of things to talk about.
Here's the one thing that I'm going to ask for when we post this episode on YouTube. Please leave us a like and a comment, please. YouTube now is looking at comments as a prime indicator of how popular the show is. That and watch time. I'm not going to ask you to sit through 2.5 hours of this thing again, but I mean, unless you want to. It sure would help. But put it on and let it play in the background. But watch it for a little bit, please, and leave us a comment. Comments would be very, very cool. That would be awesome. Steve says, thanks again, TFG. Another episode well done. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks also to all of the other people that tuned in. We sure do appreciate it. All of the people who chime in, you guys make this show, and we appreciate it. We hear from people again and again about, looking forward to Tuesday nights, and that's pretty awesome. All right, so for Walt and for Beth and for Sean, we sure do thank you. Until next time, this is Dark Hooper saying, dream hard. Mm-mm-mm.